So whenever we have to generate any number in Excel, what we have to do is we generally type the numbers 1 and 2, then we select both, and then we have to use the mouse and drag it. And that is how we generate the series of number. Now, in the advanced versions of Excel 2019, 21, 365, and so on and so forth, what there is one formula which is there. You can just write down sequence. Okay, and when you write down sequence, it asks you for two parameters. One is compulsory, the others are optional. Okay, so first one is rows. So how many rows you want to fill the series on? Suppose I want to generate 100 rows, 100 number, 1 to 100 I want a list. Okay, and I want it in rows. So I will just type in sequence in bracket 100 and I'll press enter. And what do you see is now we have got a list of 1 to 100 numbers. Can you see that? We have got a list of 1 to 100 numbers. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, suppose I want to get the numbers from not in the row, but in the column. Okay. So I want like 1 to 10 in the column. So what I can do is I can write down sequence. And I don't want any rows number in the row, but I want the number in the column. Okay. So I can write down 10 over here and close the bracket. So you will see that now 1 to 10 number has been generated in the first row in the columns. Okay. So you can see that this series is generated 1 to 10. Okay. Now, if you delete some number from between, what will happen? If you delete this column from between, okay. Suppose I delete this. So you'll not be able to delete any number because it is just a spillover over the different columns. It is a spillover. Okay. We have written the formula only in one cell. It is just a spillover. If you write something over here, then you will get an error of spill. So that means it is just written in the first cell, but it's getting spilled over different cells. So how do you remove this error? How do you make it 1 to 10? And so that you can remove any number, you can modify anything. So what I have done is Control C, copy the entire thing. You will right click, paste spatial and values. Okay, paste spatial and values, and you will say okay. Now, when you paste it as values, now you can remove any number. Okay, now you cannot see there is a formula. There is no formula now. Okay, there is no formula now. So the formula was sequence. Earlier I put 10 in the row, then I put 10 in the column. Okay, now what if I put 10 by 10 comma 10 sequence 10 comma 10 and press enter. Let me remove all these numbers. See what has happened. Shrishta, can you see this?
Yes, sir.
So by using a single function or single formula in Excel, we have generated a series of 1 to 100 numbers, that too in 10 row and 10 column. It is a table of 10 by 10, I can say. Okay. It is the table of 10 by 10, 10 rows and 10 columns. So you can see on the name box, it is showing 10 rows and 10 columns. So there are 10 rows and 10 columns. Similarly, if you type in 1000, 1000, you will generate a table of 1000 rows and 1000 columns. So this is actually 1000 column. This is the 100 and 1000 column. So if you want to check what is this column number, you can just type in column. You can just type in column and you can see this all ALL in Excel is the 1000 column number. Okay. Yesterday we had did a quiz in our group and I asked what is the total number of rows in the Excel and total number of columns in the Excel. Okay. So when you press control and down arrow, you reach to the end of the Excel. Okay. So the last row in Excel is 10,48,576. This is the last row in Excel. Okay. But when we have to go to the last column, we see that the last column is XFD. How do I find which number is this? Okay. Now, those who participated in the quiz yesterday and those who remember, can you tell me what is the column number? What is the last column in Excel? What is the column number? How do you find? Or what is the column number? How
It's
many columns do
FD.
we have? Yes, Rishta has answered 16,384. But how do you find out? Yes, how do you find out what is this number? Okay, so there is a function called as column. When you type this function, open bracket, close bracket, and press enter, you get to see this number 16,384. There is one more way where you can convert the alphabets into number into Excel. Okay, we are just taking 1 or 2 minutes and then we'll start with the topic conditional formatting. Okay, so what I'm telling you is that if you want to convert the alphabets, which you can see here, into numbers, how you can do that? So how many people already know how to convert this into numbers, these alphabets into numbers? I want to convert. How do I do that? You go to the file menu. In the file menu, you go to the options. Okay. Now, someone has asked me how to check which Excel version we are using. So how do you check that? So when you go to the file menu, you go to the account section, and there you will come to know which Excel you are using. So I'm using Excel to 365, Microsoft 365 product. Excel, it is a subscription product. So similarly, you can check yours, okay, by going to the file menu and account. Now, when you go to file menu and when you click on options, a dialog box opens up. In the dialog box, you have to come to the formula tab. In the formula tab, you will see that there is a R1C1 reference style. Can you see this R1C1 reference style? Can you see this?
Yes, sir.
Just a minute. I just highlighted. So this one I'm talking about. Okay, R1C1 reference style. R1C1 reference style. This basically you have to click on this checkbox. Okay, you have to click on this checkbox. So when you click on this checkbox, you will see and you press OK. When you click on this checkbox and you press OK, do you see anything change on the any change on the Excel? Do you see any change in your Excel and my Excel? What is the change you see?
सर हमारे में नेम बॉक्स में वहाँ पे अल्फाबेट्स दिखा रहा है.
हाँ, और मेरे में नंबर दिखा रहा है. So it is showing me numbers both in the row as well as column. So many of you would be seeing it for the first time. So if you are seeing it for the first time, you can write down first in the chat box. If you are seeing this for the first time, that the instead of alphabets, you are seeing numbers in Excel. Here be number, udhar be number. Okay. And one more thing is different. Suppose I write any formula, some function, and I want to take the total of these numbers. So when I select a range in Excel, it generally gives me A1 to A10 or A1 to D1, something like this. But here it is giving me some weird thing. R1C4, R1C. Okay, so what does it mean? It means that it is row 1 and there are 4 columns. So from 1 to 4 and there is one more column. So 5 columns. So here you get the answer, but the reference is different. Now how do you come back to the normal thing? So again, you go to the file menu and in options, and then you go to the formula tab. In the formula tab, you will see this R1C1 reference style, R1C1 reference style. You have to just uncheck this button and click on OK. And you come back to normal. And now you see A2 to E2. Okay. Now, having said this, let us come back to the topic which we wanted to discuss today. And the topic for the day is, what is the topic for the day? What is the topic for the day?
So conditional formatting.
Correct. So before we start discussing about the topic, anyone has any idea what is conditional formatting? before I start delivering on it, I want to understand how much do you know about conditional formatting? Anyone who would like to volunteer and speak? Yeah, Shrestha, yes.
Sir, I have used it when I do the GST read को अगर मेरे को duplicate values find out करने रहते हैं तो उसके लिए मैंने conditional formatting use की है.
ठीक है, तो एक काम होता है, एक फंक्शन होता है, to find out the duplicate values you can use conditional formatting. Okay, anyone else who has any
Yes, sir.
experience from conditional formatting? Because I do not see any answer in the chat box, so now I'm asking questions. Okay, so if you don't know, if you are using it for the first time, if it is this concept is new to you, you can write down new. See, when you interact in the class, I get a feedback, so I take my session accordingly. Okay, I do not come prepared. I take the feedback from the audience and then accordingly I teach. Okay, so if you give me the feedback, then it'll be easier. Else, I will have my own assumptions. Okay, and if no one is giving any feedback, I'm assuming that you don't know anything. So if you don't know anything, then I have to start from the very beginning. So let us do that. So I'm sharing the file in the chat box, which I'm going to use in today's session. Those who have joined my course, I've already shared this file with you all in the group, in the WhatsApp group. Those who have come through the Excel Vibes platform, I'm sharing this file in the chat box. You can download it and keep it open so that whatever I'm doing, you can resonate with it and you can try it at your own pace. Okay, so now I'm sharing my screen again, and next screen, you will see the conditional formatting sheet. Is my screen visible now? Can you see the screen? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Now, why do we use conditional formatting, or what is the purpose of conditional formatting? Let us start with this and then we will see the practical aspect of it. Okay, first, it is always good to know the theory behind anything, then jump to practical aspect. So we will divide the word into two parts. One is condition, and one is formatting. Okay, so conditional and formatting. So now, if I ask you out of these two words, which word is more interesting? Which one is more interesting? Conditional or formatting? What is more interesting? See or you can
Formatting.
write down. What is more interesting? Conditional or formatting?
Condition is more important
Condition is more important. Okay. No, I'm asking interesting.
because
What is interesting? Condition or formatting? Lina says condition. Okay. Shrestha said formatting. You might have different opinions. Okay. So if you ask me, according to me, formatting is the most important, most interesting concept in Excel. Okay, formatting. Obviously, condition is also because condition. Whenever there are conditions, you have to think. But whenever you have to format, you don't have to think, but you have to apply your creative mind. You have to apply your creative things, creativeness. Okay. So now you can see on this Excel file, I've inserted my logo, my company's logo, and this has come into a particular way. And when you bring this mouse over here, you will see that the mouse is converting into a hand symbol. And you can see excelwise.graphy.com. So this is formatting. I formatted this Excel sheet to include a external object, and I have created a hyperlink on it. When I click on it, it will take you to my website. Okay, so that is the case. But let us now come back to what do you mean by formatting and what do you mean by conditional formatting. Okay, so formatting basically means changing the color, the font size, and making it big, applying the different formats and all. Okay, now many people don't know that in Excel, home tab has all the formatting buttons. Home tab has all the formatting variations options. Okay. In the home tab, you have one style section which holds the conditional formatting also. But we will talk about little bit about cell styles. Okay. How many have seen this window before, or you have worked with this window? Okay. If you have worked, you can write down Y. If you are not, you can write down N. Okay. How many have seen this before and know about this? Because I don't know. I know many people don't. They don't know about this. So I want to understand from the 10 participants who are there. I want 10 answer in the chat box. Have you ever worked with this? So those who are saying why they have seen that, those who are saying no, they're not. Those who are not saying anything, what they are doing, I don't know. So please be participating in the class. Just write down Y or N. It will not take much time. Okay, yes, no. Okay. Now let me just make you aware of what this is. Okay, and how important, how useful this button is, which you don't know about. Okay. So now, see, basically it is the cell styles. These are different styles which Excel has built in to make the Excel look more attractive. Okay, and to note down. So whenever you are studying, you use a highlighter, use different color pen, you use a scale to marking, you use post-it. Okay, but when we are working in Excel, we can use the same things. Okay, now suppose when I click on good, so you see that the conditional word has become a green color. The font color has also changed. The background color has also changed. Okay. But I did not go to the home tab and click on the background color or the font color to change it. Okay. Similarly, when I'm coming on the formatting tab, just a minute, let me just do some changes in the ribbon. Yeah. So when I'm on the formatting tab, when I'm on the formatting word, now when I click on this cell style, I want the formatting to look like this orange color and this. Okay. So when I click here, now both the cells are formatted. Both the cells are formatted. I have formatted using the cell styles. Okay. Now, these are different styles which mean different things. So if I click on note, so some note will come or it will convert into a note. You can see that the green color has now been turned into a yellow color. Okay, it is a kind of post-it kind of a thing. Okay, command is something different. If you want to convert into a red, it will become a warning kind of a thing. All these things can change when you change the cell styles. Okay, now this is condition. This is conditional formatting. So based on the conditions, you are formatting the as per your liking, you are formatting the cells. Okay. But now what we want is we want to highlight certain cells based on some conditions. Okay. We want to highlight some cells based on some conditions. For this, for explaining you this, I will be using a data set and the data example is already in front of you. So just when you see this file, okay, let me just zoom in a little bit. Yeah. So conditional formatting with formula, get it right every time. This is what we are going to do. Now there is a case study over here. So format if salary is equal to or greater than 80,000. Okay, I put a value over here in this cell B3, which says 80,000. Okay, I am going to make it bold and underline also. This is my requirement. This is my criteria. Okay, and let me bring it to center. Okay, so this is what it is that I want to highlight all those cells where the salary of a particular employee is more than 80,000. So I've got a list of employees. I want to highlight all those employees' salary where the amount is more than 80,000. Okay, now if you don't know conditional formatting, how would you do it in Excel? Tell me. If you don't know conditional formatting, how would you do it? How would you do the same thing in Excel?
By giving the range of number that is equal to or between this.
No, by giving the name range of, no, I didn't understand. with if function. Okay, so now the question is, Shrestha, with the use of if function, I can check whether the salary is more than 80,000 or not. But how would I format the cell using if function? That is my question. See, I can check whether this salary is it greater than or equal to 80,000. I can write this. Okay. And if it is, then what is to be done? Then you can say matched. Okay. Yeah, you can say yes. Else you can say no. So with the use of if condition, we can get the answer as yes or no, true and false. We can check the condition, right? But can we highlight the rows wherever there is a yes using the if condition? That is the question. The objective is to the purpose is to highlight the columns, the rows where the value of salary is more than 80,000. How do we do it? It is not possible to highlight the salary, correct? Now how do we do it? Okay, how do you generally do it? Sometimes it is happen, okay, the boss is saying you, are give me the list of employees where the salary is more than 80,000. Tell me the name of the employees. So what you do is generally we apply a filter. Okay, we apply a filter. Anyone who can tell me what is the shortcut key to apply a filter? Come on, answer in the chat box.
Alt DFF.
Very good. So one shortcut key I'm typing in the chat box, Alt D F F. Another one Shrestha has given Alt A T. I know one more, that is Shift plus Control plus L. This is what I use generally. So Shift Control L will put a filter. Now what filter I will apply? I will click on here and I will say number filter greater than or equal to 80,000. So all those cells, all those persons whose salary is more than 80,000 have come. Now I can select all and I can put a highlighter. So this is one way of doing it. This is one way of doing it. So you can see that all the cells where the number is more than 80,000 has been highlighted. Okay. But suppose the list is long and there are different variables. So is it the right way to do it, or there could be some better way also where you don't have to do all this manually, where first you apply a filter, then you write the condition and all, and then you filter it, then you apply the highlighter, then you unfilter the data. Isn't it a lengthy task? Isn't it? So what is the way out? The way out is conditional formatting. The answer is conditional formatting. Okay. So I hope you must have understood the background about conditional formatting. Control all down arrow. Yes, all down arrow key. Yeah, we can select. But the point is, it is a long process. Have you understood the logic behind using conditional formatting? Can you write down yes in the chat box, please? Have you understood the concept behind conditional formatting? If you have understood, then let us proceed next. Okay, now see. What we have to do now is, we have to select the range of cell where the value is more than 80,000. Okay, we have to highlight. Now there are two ways of doing this. Let me explain you the logic here, or you can say the formula. We will have to use a formula. Okay, or we can do it without using a formula also. So first I will select the number. I will go to conditional formatting and I will use the first one, highlight cell rules. And in the first one, there is something called as greater than. and I will simply write down 80,000. I will simply write down 80,000, and then I have some options to select from. How do I want to highlight this? In what format? So I've selected green and dark green color. Okay. So now you see that all those cells where the salary is more than 80,000 has been highlighted. Can you see that? Can you see that? That all the numbers where
Yes,
the
sir.
amount is more than 80,000 are highlighted. Now, if I want to remove this, I can just click on conditional formatting again and go to clear rules and clear rules from selected cells. Again, the data is into normal shape. But did you check that there was one error in what we did? Can you tell me what was the mistake? What was the problem? Can you read the case study again? Can you read the question again? Anyone? Shrestha, can you read it for all?
So we have not used the greater or equal to together
Very
because it
good.
is only showing the cells which is greater than 80,000, but it is not showing which is equals to 80,000.
Correct. Now, in the list, in the drop down of conditional formatting, do you see any rule which says that greater than or equal to together? Are we getting any options where we have the option to select something which will show 80,000 more than or equal to 80,000? Do we have this option or no?
No, sir, but
But what?
no, sir.
No, we don't.
सर मैनेज रूल से
Manage rules.
हाँ मैम, वो तो है, लेकिन अभी जो मैं पूछ रहा था, माय कंटेक्स्ट वाज कि इसमें कुछ दिख रहा है क्या? मैनेज रूल तो कर ही सकते हैं, लेकिन इनमें दिख रहा है, इनमें इस लिस्ट में अवेलेबल है कुछ रेडीमेड? इनमें तो नहीं है ना? These options do not have the greater than or equal to together, correct? So in that case, we have to create a new rule. We don't have to go to manage rules. Manage rules is to manage any rule. We have to create which we have already created. So you can go to new rule also. You can go to manage rule also. If you go to manage rules, you have to come to new rule. So rather going to manage rule, we can simply come to the new rule. Now, whenever you say rule, that means you have to define the condition on the basis of which the cells are to be formatted. Okay. Now there are some, let us understand this table, this box first. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different options are there. First is format all cell based on their values. Okay. And edit the rule description, format all cell based on their values. Now format style, you have the different style, 2 color scale, 3 color scale, then you have the minimum and the maximum. So you can format all cells. Do we want to format all cells? Do we have to format all cells? Yes or no? In this particular problem, are we supposed to highlight all the cells? Y or N? No, sir. Because we need to highlight only selected cells where the salary is more than 80,000. Okay. So if I skip the first one. Second one, format only cells that contain. Okay. Now, format only cell with cell value between. So if I use the between concept, okay. So can I write between 80,000 and 2 lakh? 80,000, 90,000. But do we have any upper limit in this problem? Do we have any upper limit?
No, sir.
No. So how can we define upper limit? So we cannot use this also. The third one, format only top or bottom ranked value. Okay. Now, do I know how many are top 10 or top 15 or top 20? No. So I cannot use the top and bottom also. If I want to rank them, if I want to highlight the top 5, give me the top 5 employees of the year. So I can say top 5, top 3, and then I can select a particular format. I want to make them bold and italic, and I want to fill them with a green color, and I'll say okay. So what, when you apply this format, what will happen? The first top three employees with the highest salary, these cells will get highlighted. Okay, but again, that is not the purpose. That is not the purpose. So we cannot do the third one also. The fourth one, format only values that are above or below average. Can we use this? No, we cannot use this. Format only unique or duplicate values. We don't have to use this also. So what is the last option remaining now? What is the last option remaining now? What is the last option? Shrishta?
Use a formula to determine which cells to format.
Correct. Use the formula to determine which cells to format. That means you have to use a formula. Okay. Now, who will give me this formula? Okay. And before we put the formula here, let me put the formula here. Okay. Since you are already attending my classes now, I expect you to write the formula, which we can put it in so that this gets highlighted. What should be the formula? Tell me. You have to apply the logic, because many people said that condition, we find condition interesting. So I remember Lena was there, and condition और किसने लिखा था? Anil ji had put condition. Okay, and yeah. So tell me, Dr. Singhvi ji, DR Singhvi ji. Okay, you also had written condition. So what condition? How do we write the formula over here? Tell me. What is the logic? What should be the formula? Can anyone give me the formula in the chat box? Just try it. Give it a try. Because today's class is all about formula. Creating a formula in and is using conditional formatting. Yes, what would be the formula? Okay. Let me help you. No issues. So B6 is the first cell which is having the value. B6 is the first cell which is having the value. I think someone has answered. Please repeat the query. Okay. The query is you have to derive a formula where I need to check whether this amount is more than 80,000 or not. Okay, whether this amount is more than 80,000 or not. What formula I should write over here? I have to just check this condition, this criteria, that the amount in cell B6 onwards, is it more than 80,000, more than equal to 80,000 or not? And let me make one figure 80,000. Okay, so Singhvi ji has given me the answer. I'm just pasting this over here, what he has written is equal to B6 greater than is equal to 80,000. Okay, and it is working. So the same formula we will copy elsewhere in all the cells. And we get the answer for everything. Okay, false, false, true. So wherever there is a true, that means in all those cells, the value is more than, yeah. If also is right, but we don't want, yeah. But that is, like, this is much easier. Rather than if, we can write down simple function like this, that if B6 greater than is equal to 80,000. Okay. And what I prefer is, instead of using this 80,000, by writing it, we should use a reference. Okay, we should use a reference. And now, if I use a reference, why I'm saying reference? Because if you change, you decide कि no 80 नहीं 90 चाहिए 1 लाख चाहिए. If you put 1 lakh over here और 80 ज्यादा हो गया 50 चाहिए, तो यहाँ पे आप चेंज करेंगे तो आंसर चेंज हो जाएगा. That is why I always prefer to use to use what? Reference. Okay. But whenever you use reference and you drag it down, what will happen? Will you get the right answer? Is it the right way to do it? We have got the answer, but is it the right way? No, it is not the right way. So what we have to do? Sorry, what we have to do in this particular case? When we are dragging the formula, you have to fix it. Very good. So we will fix B3 because B3 cell should not move. So how do we fix? What is the shortcut key? So
F4.
F4. Enter. And now Control D. Do I have to freeze B6 also? Do I have to freeze B6 also? Should I
No,
freeze?
sir.
No.
sir.
Yeah, because if I freeze B6, how will it change the values? How will it test all the conditions? Okay. Now see, we have already got the answer. So that means this formula is working. Let us copy this formula and go to conditional formatting. Okay. Now, before applying conditional formatting, you have to always remember wherever you want to apply conditional formatting, that column should be selected first. Step number 1 is to select the data, the cells where you want to apply conditional formatting. Second thing, go to conditional formatting, go to new rule, select the last option and paste the formula which you have created. Then you have to define how do you want to format. Okay, you have to define how do you want to format. I want to apply this color. Okay, this a lighter shade of this, and also I want to increase. I want to make it bold and italic. Okay, and I want to put a border also. Okay, okay, and do you see it is working? Do you see now? So all those values where the amount is more than 50,000, it is getting highlighted. Do you want to repeat it or you understood? You understood, you want me to repeat it? Repeat, sir. Okay. See, as I told you that whatever cells you want to highlight, first you have to select the entire cells area. Okay, so we have selected the entire column wherever you wanted to highlight. Secondly, we went to conditional formatting and then we created a new rule. In the new rule, we chose the last option, use the formula to determine which cells to format, and we have to write a formula over here. Now, what I'm doing is I'm not copying the formula, I will create the formula over here so that you can understand. It was just to teach you, but now when you are doing it practically, you can write the formula directly over here. Okay, how do you write the formula? The first cell where the value is which one? B6. Okay, so B6 is the first cell, B6. Now see, whenever you type anything in this, it automatically puts a dollar sign. Okay, but we don't have to put the dollar sign. We have to remove the dollar sign so that it can function at all the places. Okay, if B6 is greater than is equal to what? Greater than is equal to what? Greater than is equal to
80,000.
B3. Okay, greater than is equal to B3. Now B3 has to be fixed because B3 cannot change. Okay, B3 has to be fixed. Okay, so if B6, the value in B6, if it is more than or is equal to B3, then format this cell. Okay, then format this cell and we can select the format that we want. Put a border, put a fill. Okay, you can use whatever you want. You want to use some gradient and all, you can do whatever gradient you want to do. Okay, you can put whatever you want to do, you can do like this also. Whatever creativity you want to apply, you can do that. Okay, then border font also, if you want to change, you want to make it bold, italic, whatever, you can do that. Okay, now you will press OK and OK. So now you see that all those cells where the amount is more than 50,000 have been highlighted. Now I want to see whether it is dynamic or not. I want to see whether it is dynamic or not. So instead of 50,000, I want to now make it 25,000. Okay. So I'm typing 25,000. I have changed the value in B3 and let me press enter. Now what do you see? What do you see? We have got more cells which are highlighted now because all those values where the amount is more than 25,000, everything is highlighted. Everything is highlighted. Now let me increase the bar and make it 1 lakh. 1,25,000 I want to make it. Now when I make it 1,25,000, everything is changing. Everything is changing. Okay. So 134, 134, these all get highlighted because they are more than 1,25,000. Are you getting it? It is changing. Yes. Why it is changing? Can anyone answer me why it is changing? Why it is changing? Can anyone answer me why everything is changed? Everything changed as I
Because
change the
we
value.
have because we have freeze that cell.
Okay, that is one part.
That's
What is the more important, more strong reason for the change? You're right, but you have to think a little. You have to go one more step ahead. Basic thing. See, when I had put the formula over here,
we have used the reference of that cell.
very
That's
good,
why.
very good. Exactly. This is the reason. So, what I'm teaching is to make your Excel dynamic. Okay. And that is how Excel should be used. It should not be used like a static software. It is not a static software, it's a dynamic software. Okay. So we have to learn how to make Excel dynamic. And whenever you have to make Excel dynamic, try to use more of references, more of references. Okay. So now let us move ahead and let us try to understand. Yeah, we put it conditional formatting and we made it dynamic by using a reference here. Okay. So whenever I'm putting a reference and I'm changing the reference, it will change the values also. Okay. Now when I put 1,50,000, only one value is getting highlighted. Only one value is getting highlighted because none of the values are more than 1,50,000. Okay. So let me put it 1 lakh. Now, I want to change a requirement little bit. Okay, I want to change a requirement little bit. The management is saying, okay, it is good, but I want to see the employee name also getting highlighted because we want to find out the name. We are more concerned about the name, not the amount. So I want this name also should be highlighted. Now, what should be done in that particular case? What should be done in this particular case? So what you will do is you go to conditional formatting, you go to manage rules. Now we'll go to manage rules. Now you see that the rule is already created. You added the rule. The condition remains the same. Will the condition change? No, the condition remains the same.
No.
What we want to change is the area where we are highlighting the cells. What do you want to change? The area. Now, when I clicked on manage rules, what do you see? You see that rule applied in the order formula format applies to. Can you see this applies to? Okay.
Yes, sir.
What do you see? What range do you see in this applies to?
B6 to B20.
B6 to B20. What value B6 to B20 has? What values B6 to B20 has? Only the salary value. Which cell has the name? Which column has the names?
A6.
A6. So what if I make it A6 to B20? Can we try this? Oh, so what has happened? Everything got highlighted. All the names got highlighted. All the names got highlighted. So then what is to be done? Let me clear the rules and let me try to apply it again. Okay, let me try to apply it again. See, what I want is I want to highlight the row, entire row. I will want to highlight the entire row. Okay, so let me do it here. Here only highlight values were there. In this particular case, I will do it here, highlight rows. Now, if you have to highlight rows, what you need to understand is that we need to give the reference of the name also and the salary also. We need to give the reference of the name also and the salary also. Then only this will work. Okay. So if I put the logic over here, the logic will remain the same. The logic will remain the same. And we need not create a logic column also. It was just for understanding. Okay. So what I will do is, if so, I had told you that whenever you want to apply conditional formatting, the first step is to select the data where you want to apply the conditional formatting. So if I select the entire data along with the name and the cell range, and then I go to conditional formatting, and then I start creating a rule, then I type the formula. I will type the same formula, but the references will change now because the columns have changed. Okay. So I will say if F6, because row number 6 remains the same. The first salary is in row number 6 only. Okay. But the column is become F now. If F6 is greater than is equal to what? With cell B3. Okay. Then apply the formatting. So here I want to apply a format. Let me select a border. Let me select orange fill now. Okay. And let me make it bold. Okay. Okay. And now what has happened? What has happened now? Do you see that the cells are getting formatted? Do you see that the cells have got formatted? But which cells have got formatted now?
Name, sir.
The names. Did we want that? We wanted the name as well as the salary both. So what to be done? What is to be done? Again, go to conditional formatting, go to manage rules, and see how exactly what exactly has happened. So we are saying that F6, okay, is equal to B3. Now I'm doing a little change over here. I'm just freezing this F column. I'm freezing this F column, not the row. Okay. And let me just say okay. And let me just say, see here applies to me. We have selected E and F both. And let me just say apply and okay. Now, do you see the change? Are we getting the desired output now?
Yes, sir.
कैसे हुआ? कैसे हुआ? ये बता दीजिए कैसे हुआ? आपको समझ में आया या नहीं आया? Did you understand or not? Yes or no? Do you want me to repeat? Yes. Okay. So let me clear the format again. So I am going to conditional formatting clear. Now every time I have to apply conditional formatting, I have to go to the home tab, whether I'm on the formula tab or draw or any other tab, I have to again go back to the home tab. Can't we do something simpler? इतना चल के जाना पड़ता है ऊपर तक. See, there is one bar you can see over here where you can see some different icons, like this is the floppy button, This is the paint format painter. This is increase font. This is something. Can you see something which is similar to this and this? Can you see this? This icon? Yes. So what is this called? What is this? So when you click over here also, here, yahan se bhi, you can reach to the top. So this icon is there. Now only selected icons are there. What is this smiley doing over here? Okay. So now, what is this? This is quick access toolbar. This is called as quick access toolbar. So whatever functions that you use very often, you can add them to your quick access toolbar. How? Just by right clicking on it and say add to quick access toolbar. When you do that, the button comes here. Now you don't have to search for these button. Okay, suppose I want the name manager to be added to my quick access toolbar. It is there. I don't have to go to any tab to access the buttons which I use often. Okay. Chaliye. Now let us understand what I did. Okay. So first thing what I did is I had selected the entire data where I wanted the conditional formatting to be applied. Then I went to conditional formatting. Then I clicked on new rule. In the new rule, I selected use the formula. Now, when I was typing the formula, okay, what did I type? F6 is it greater than is equal to B3. Now, when you type, it will not give you any dollars, but when you select it from a reference, it will give you a dollar. Okay. So F6 is greater than is equal to B3, then format all these cells. Okay, and we'll use a different border now and fill. Let us put a pattern. Fill it with this pattern. Okay. Apply. Okay. Condition formatting is applied or not? Not applied. Okay. Again, let us see what has happened. Again, go to conditional formatting, manage rules. So this is the rule we created is F6 greater than, so I had put something wrong over here. F6, yeah, is greater than is equal to B3. Okay. Correct. Then format. Okay. And okay. And apply. Okay. Now you see that the names are formatted. The names are formatted over here. Now, why the names are getting formatted and this is not getting formatted? And if you check the rule, we selected the entire two columns. Okay, if you see the rules, again go to conditional formatting, manage rules. Here it is saying applies to. It is here also it is selecting both the columns. Okay, but there is a problem over here. Here is the problem. See, F6 is equal to B3. So B3 will remain same, but when you are selecting two columns, what is happening is it is not able to shift from F2. It is not able to select F column also. It is selecting E column because this is the first column in the series where you want to apply the conditional formatting. So to fix this, what you have to do is you have to put a dollar. Okay, you have to put a dollar. Once you put the dollar, then it will apply the formatting in all the cells. Okay, in all the cells which you have selected. So now you see that all the names are formatted. Both the columns are formatted. Okay, now if I insert one more column over here, even that will get formatted. Okay, so let me say bonus. Okay, so those persons whose salary is more than 1 lakh, they are entitled to bonus also. Okay. So what I want to say, what I want to do is I will check whether this amount is more than this amount, and this I will freeze B3. Okay. And now, yeah, and here I get a condition. Here I get a condition. Okay. Now, if I don't want to say see false and true, then we can put the if condition and we can write down bonus yes or no. Okay, like that. But now suppose you want to highlight this cell also, the third one. You select the entire data. Don't select the headings ever. Select the data only. And then again, we'll go to conditional formatting, manage rules. Okay, now this is same. What I will do is instead of applies to, we will say G20. I will select the G column also. And let me say apply and say okay. Do you see now the formatting is extended to the third column also, this column also. So what is the catch? The catch is, the point to note is that you have to freeze the column. You have to freeze the column where you are putting the value, where the values you have to reciprocate, because the column, if you have freeze, then it will go to other columns. Have you understood this? Now is it clear? So I've stopped the screen sharing for 2 minutes. Okay, and now I want to ask you, now how did you find conditional formatting? Is it like difficult? It is like good? It is interesting? Or you will have to try it? What is your opinion about this particular topic? Yes, everyone. If you want to, you can unmute and speak, because see, I believe in taking interactive classes, or basically live classes. Okay, because online is having a limitation that you cannot interact, but the obviously we can interact in the chat box or using the mic or the this thing video. If you put your video on, we can see each other. Okay, but when you interact, you get a feedback. Okay, so I can see that Shrestha saying very interesting, and this is just what you can say, one aspect of conditional formatting that I've explained today. Okay, because it was new concept for you. So what I've explained is just a very basic thing of conditional formatting, what we have done. Okay, now if yes, I'm right, this is very basic. A lot of more things are there. Okay, let me show you what else is there and why I'm calling it as a basic. So I'm sharing my screen again, and you will see a different file now. Okay, so in this file, in this Excel sheet, you will see that there is a table, okay, which has some sheets, which has some buttons over here, and these are action buttons. Okay, why I'm calling these action button, because when you click on it, it will take you to a particular sheet. Okay, when you click on it, it will take you to a particular sheet. So when I click on product one, it will take me to product one sheet. Okay, when I click on home, it will bring me back to the home. When I click on product two, it is taking me to product two. When I click on home, it will take me back. Okay, and similarly, there are other things. Okay, now why there are so many sheets? Because each sheet has a different variant of conditional formatting. Each sheet has a different variant of conditional formatting. Now see, for example, let me show you this. What is this? This is basically a feedback form. We want to understand from the people that there are different product a company selling: mountain bike, comfort rider, hybrid, road bike, uni bike and all. Okay, and they want to test these products based on different parameters like shifting, brakes, handlebars, seat, frequency, overall. So they have taken a feedback and they had asked the participant to rank these products based on these categories, these references on the scale of 1 to 5. And people have put the ranking as 1 to 5. But if I show you numbers, okay, now see, you see when I'm bringing my this thing mouse over here, my active cell over here on the formula bar, what do you see on the formula bar? Or what do you see in the active cell? If I press F2, what do you see? You see numbers. You see numbers here, but here what you see is something else. Now let me clear the rules. What do you see now? What do you see now in the cells?
Numbers.
Numbers. If I ask you which product, don't look at the oral score. Let me hide this. Okay. If I ask you which product has got excellent feedback based on seat, which product has got excellent feedback based on the parameter seat? Tell me the answer in the chat box. Which product has got excellent as a feedback with respect to seat as a criteria? The answer is comfort rider. Very good. Which product has got the excellent feedback based on frequency of repair? Which product has got the best feedback, the excellent feedback based on the frequency?
Unicycle.
Unicycle. Okay. Now to answer this question, you had to scratch your brain. You had to put your eyes and you were looking for number 5, isn't it? ऐसे ही किया था ना, नंबर 5 ढूंढ रहे थे कि कहाँ पे है, जहां मिला उसका आंसर दे दिया. Now let me ask you this question again. Let me ask you this question again. Now, if you see these symbols and I ask you, which all product has got poor feedback? Which all product has got poor feedback based on brakes? Which all product have got poor feedback based on brakes? Based on brakes. Shrestha? You're not audible. Am I not audible? I'm asking which all product have got poor feedback based on brakes as a criteria?
Mountain bike and road bike.
Correct. Mountain bike and road bike. If I ask you based on seat, what should be your answer? Based on seat, poor feedback based on seat.
Unicycle.
Unicycle. Was it easier when there were number, or is it easier now to identify this? Symbol. Yes. So that is possible because of conditional formatting. So that is how conditional formatting plays a very important role. Okay. Now let me show you one more example. This is again a very good example. Okay. Now you are analyzing the position of the company's sales or profit. Okay. You are analyzing the position of company's profit. And let me hide these two columns. You are analyzing the company's position. And if I ask you that, let me highlight these two columns so that you can focus on here. If I ask you, tell me you have these quarters, quarter number 4 and quarter number 1. So that we have one last quarter of the year 2005 and we have the first quarter. Has the sales or the profit margins increased or decreased? Okay, in the first case, has the profit margin increased or decreased? What do you say? In the first case, it is increased. So I'll write down INC over here. In the second case, also it is increased. In the third case, it is increased. In the third case, it is decreased. In the fourth case, fifth case, also is decreased. Okay. So you compared both the numbers and you checked whether it is increasing or decreasing. Okay. But what if I show you something like this? If I show you this trend, if I show you this trend column, can you easily find out, can you easily tell me where the sales, the profit have increased and where the profit have decreased?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Why? Why?
Sir, symbols are easier to recognize and visualize.
Exactly. So whenever you use symbols or icons or images or pictures or videos, they are easy to understand and visualize. Whenever you have text, numbers, paragraph, they are less easy to comprehend and they take a lot of time to comprehend and understand. And whenever the data is huge, you have so many data, then it becomes all the more difficult. It becomes all the more difficult to analyze things. Okay. So whenever we use any numbers or shading or something like that, it becomes easy to analyze things. Okay. So now why I was telling you all this, because this is all part of conditional formatting and you can learn all these things through conditional formatting. Today, we have kept an open session because we wanted people to come and to understand what is conditional formatting. People have a very limited view of Excel. Okay, कि Excel में क्या होता है कि हम सम कर सकते हैं, टोटल कर सकते हैं, ये फॉर्मूला लगा सकते हैं, वो लगा सकते हैं, ये रिजल्ट कर सकते हैं, लेकिन बहुत कुछ Excel में हो सकता है. And my way of teaching Excel is to explore, to let you explore what we can do. Okay. So tomorrow also we'll be continuing with this. Tomorrow also would be a open session for everyone. Okay. But tomorrow I'll not be covering all the aspects of this. I will be covering limited aspects. Okay. From Monday will be the last day of conditional formatting. So Monday we will continue with only those participants who have joined our program or a course. Okay. So if you want to continue learning, tomorrow is a free session for everyone. You can come and join us. Okay. If you want to continue still even more, then you can go to our website and check out the course and you can learn, because we will be doing a lot of things in Excel. Okay. If you want to really be good in Excel, then definitely you can explore this. Okay. So I hope you enjoyed today's session and you learned a lot of new things. Tomorrow also looking forward to meet you at 9 o'clock. We will continue with this conditional formatting. I will upload this recording on YouTube also on my channel. And there are many other videos on Excel which I've uploaded on my channel. I'm sharing the link over there in the chat box. So if you want to explore, you can just go there and check it out. Okay. Any questions, anyone? With respect to what we studied today and with respect to any other thing that you want to ask?